Everybody, welcome back to the Spurs 9501 podcast. We've got a special video with our football expert Cam again, and he's going to explain to everybody why Chelsea and Tottenham hate each other so much. I mean, we know we've got rival with Arsenal and with other London teams, but the hatred that there is between Tottenham and Chelsea, I don't think is there. So, Cam, why is there such a hatred between Tottenham and Chelsea? Can you shed some light on that?
Really hard to put your finger on, but all I can say is that Chelsea were technically for many years a smaller team than Spurs. And yeah, I'm saying it, a much smaller team than Spurs. We're a bigger, better supported team, bigger team in London than Chelsea ever were. Until they started to take Russian blood money and build on the backs of the poor Russian worker, and built up this team that was, frankly, should have been put in its place years ago through financial fair play. They became a bigger team by winning more and by obviously buying championships and titles. But over the last, since the start of the Premier League, there's been a slight shift in balance. Of course, we know why. Obviously, I just mentioned the money. But the other reason is they became our bogey team. For some reason or another, Spurs became fans, everybody got so scared of Chelsea, and I don't know why, that we always let them run riot over us. And it's embarrassing. As a Spurs fan, it's highly embarrassing and highly pretty shameful the way that Spurs have performed at Chelsea and let them run riot at White Hart Lane. And I don't think that's changed. I think we're still scared of them. I think they still have bogey team. I think there's still something that they have a hold on us, and I don't understand what it is. And it's quite awful as a Spurs fan to keep being so depressed going to Chelsea, knowing that we are a bigger club and a better club than they ever will be.
Yeah, because there was that period of time when it's like 30 matches between 1990 to 2006 where we couldn't beat them at all until we had that bonfire night match November the 5th 2006, I think, where Aaron Lennon scored the winner, where we finally beat them in the league. So you're right, there's a big bogey team for us, although a bogey team for lots of other clubs as well. But again, there's no reason, you don't understand why that happens.
No, I don't. I mean, we do understand that Spurs have a really big mentality problem as a club, in the culture and everything else, that every single time we get anywhere near anything, we bottle it. And that's just the same with Chelsea. We know they're our bogey club. We know that we've got to beat them. We know that we can beat them. We know we're a better team than them. We've had better players than them. We've outplayed them on the pitch. But we always bottle it. We always let them get a goal, wonder goal, whatever goal. But they'll always get their chance and they'll do that. And I also think that players like Harry Kane, in particular, when it comes to the big moments, does tend to bottle it. And we have a number of players that do. And until we get the players that can overcome fear and overcome the club culture, it's never going to change. Because Chelsea laugh at us. I was at the Chelsea game a couple of years ago, and they were laughing at our team. Their fans were. They beat us 2-0, and they never even really got out of second gear. And we huffed and puffed, couldn't get the ball, couldn't do anything. We never wanted to win. We never looked like a team that came here to win. And we looked like a team which was rabbits in headlights and couldn't wait for the 90 minutes to be up and just hand them 3 points on a plate. And that's what we do every time to Chelsea. Now that Pochettino's at Chelsea, maybe that might change something, that we've got a point to prove as a club. But I don't think so. Pochettino's coming to 3-point lane to take as many points as he can from us because he knows that's what he's going to get. Why would it be any different?
And I guess the biggest indictment of that was the Battle of the Bridge in 2016. We needed to win. We were 2-0 up at halftime. All we need to do is hold out. Couldn't hold out. That's the biggest thing that happened, isn't it? That was the hoodoo in a nutshell. That was.
Couldn't hold out, should have had 4 players sent off potentially, started resorting to not playing football but to other tactics, couldn't hold on to the ball, just felt complete shambles. That was the best example that you can give of a team that lives in fear and lives in the shadow of a junior team, in effect. We let them become the bigger team because we're too scared. We're scared of them. Stop being scared of Chelsea.
I remember that's one of their worst seasons. They were 12th or something. But when it came to playing Tottenham, they really stood up, didn't they? I remember 2-1 up. Ryan Mason had a chance to make it 3-1. He missed it. They went up the other end, and Eden Hazard scored, and the rest is history. So I think there is... But let me ask you a question. All the new players that come to Tottenham, etc., they don't know about the history with Chelsea. Why are they scared of them? Why don't they produce?
I don't
People
know.
like
Is it Wayne?
Richarlison,
Yeah.
Højbjerg, all these. I mean, I can understand Harry Kane and all that, but Højbjerg,
Because
Son, all these guys, they're new players. Why do they care about it?
yeah, probably not so much. We get these players in that are proper when I mean, they don't just not perform against Chelsea. They don't perform against anybody, do they? That's why we're 8th in the league.
But Højbjerg played for Southampton and played great against Chelsea. They beat Southampton. Southampton beat Chelsea 3-1 at the bridge or whatever. Højbjerg plays great. But when he comes to Tottenham to play for them, can't do anything.
Yeah, you don't know. Or maybe it's written to their contract. I don't know. Maybe there's something that is there's something very strange at Spurs when it comes to Spurs versus Chelsea. All I can think of is the fact that they have a stronger mentality, and probably Chelsea are told very clearly that the worst season you'll ever have, you'll get something from Spurs. I think last season is about the only time where they didn't beat us. I think we had 2 draws.
We won at home and we drew away. We got a last minute equaliser.
So
Yeah,
probably that was the best season we've probably had against Chelsea.
yeah.
Any stage of since the Premier League has been around. I'm not talking about League One season, when it was the first division. I'm talking about the Premier League. I hope we'll build on it. I hope that. I mean, one thing I like about Postecoglou being an Australian, he's not going to come with any pretenses and any of this sort of stuff to him. And if we bring some of that winning Australian mentality with him, as we see with every other sport the Australians play, then maybe we will break this hoodoo. But if it carries on, then I think we're on a high into nothing. And one thing is going to be very clear: Chelsea gets stronger, Spurs get weaker.
Yeah, and one last thing to finish on, the best team we had, the best results against Chelsea we had was when Pochettino was in charge of us. When we beat them at the bridge finally 3-1, we beat them 2-0 at home. Now he's gone to Chelsea. Let's see what happens. But what's your final thoughts on the rivalry then, Cam, before we close down the podcast?
I think it's well overdue that Chelsea now that the table should be turned and that we should start making them scared of us rather than us scared of them. I really hope that if ever any team that we do beat next season, we beat Chelsea twice.
Okay, Cam, thanks for your time. I know you got to rush away, so thank you again. Come on, you Spurs, and we'll see you on the next podcast.
Spurs, and let's hope we get some good signings coming in this year, Ray.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Thanks.